Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of oh my god, oh my god, oh no, what? Oh my god, it's so embarrassing, you just caught me, oh god, it's so embarrassing, oh god, I forgot what series it was, oh my god, it's not May, it's not April, oh god. So embarrassing. That is literally just one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done on recording, man. Like I don't know. I don't want to edit it out. Like I have to keep it in. I just have to live with it, you know. It felt like I was like cheating on the series for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, God, yeah, that's embarrassing. That's really, you just caught me in the act with one of my other loves, you know. God, you just, God, that's embarrassing. God. The life of being a CEO, man, it's hard. It's hard, man. I don't know. I just need someone in the HR department to draft a statement, you know, like, I don't know, that's PR, but whatever. That's, God, that's very, God, oh, man, I was just caught in 4K. Not really 4K, 1080p. I was caught as plain as day, just playing the wrong game. Like, that was so embarrassing. That just, God, hopefully you didn't see too much of that. Oh, man, hopefully you didn't see too much of the frickin' almost obsolete frickin' game now. That does not have page vectors in it, god damn. Oh, man, it's just, oh, God, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's, I'm dragging this on too long, aren't I? Oh, man, okay, yeah, for future reference, this reference should, the intro bit should be, somewhat obvious, but yeah, I don't need to explain it, you know. That's basically all the commentary I can muster about that subject, man. Bomani Jones did a fun tweet thing about it, you know. Act like you've been there before, okay? Act like just act like it's natural, you know? It's like, no, we are supposed to be having fun, you know? I was supposed to start the video. I was supposed to be playing the wrong game, okay? You know, it's fine, you know? I don't know, that conversation afterwards, you know, I wonder what happened to that marriage on both sides of it. Anyway. Do you know what's not awkward or embarrassing? Dame coming back to the Blazers. He is back on the Blazers. Did I talk about that? I do not think so. Again, I have to start with basketball conversation. I'm sorry, but there's just a little bit. There's just a little tiny bit, you know? I do not have an outline for this episode that I wrote down, but I think I'll just do my best here, just to keep myself on track. So, Damian Lillard has returned to the Portland Trailblazers on a much lesser deal. He's making like $14 million a year, but between like the Bucks, what the Bucks are gonna pay him by waiving and stretching him, and what the Blazers are paying for him, yeah, he's getting paid like what, 40 million like this year, you know. So yeah, he's returning to Portland. It didn't really seem like he wanted to leave, even though he requested a trade, you know. But he's like, if you want to trade me, send me to Miami. Joe Cronin was like, no, we're not doing that. Sent him to Milwaukee. You know, Dame was going through stuff in his personal life during that time. It was hard being separated from his family. His family didn't move to Milwaukee with him. They were just like going on flights to Milwaukee the whole time he was there. Yeah, but now he's rehabbing in Portland. He's going to play for Portland next season. Not this upcoming season, but the 26-27 season. Same thing as Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton. So yeah, that's a cool thing. It's a cool, not embarrassing thing that happened. Anything else do I have to say about it? It's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea that just Dame was like, no, I'm coming back. I'll come back. It's fine. Like, what does this mean for the Blazers as an organization that wants to win? You know, like, is it gonna impede their efforts to build like a playoff contending team? Maybe. But, like, it's also just a feel-good story. It's also nice to see, you know? Like, and also, the Blazers, yeah, getting rid of DeAndre Ayton, you know, buying out his contract, settling that they're gonna have Yang Han-Sen, I think that's how you say his name now, Yang Han-Sen, and Donovan Clingan as their centers. Seems like it's gonna be a pretty good thing. Young Hansen, he's been the star of Summer League, more so than the actual #1 overall pick. Did I talk about? I didn't. Yeah, I just said that he's living up to being the Chinese Jokic, but there's a fun story where his translator, his translator said, that he was saying through his translator that as his name was being called during the draft, he was eating fried chicken. And he was like, oh, you have to finish eating his fried chicken and then go downstairs because he wasn't in the main room, in the main area where all the tables are, most of the draft picks are. Yeah, so yeah, that's a cool thing. Hopefully he becomes a really good player, I would assume everyone is rooting for it. Everyone in China is everyone who's a basketball fan in China is probably rooting for it. So yeah, it's a cool thing. Anything else in basketball that I want to talk about, man? Oh man, anything? Oh yeah. The Clippers are old. That's really it. The Clippers are an old team, and another reunion happened. Chris Paul is back with the Clippers at age 40, which is it's going to be his last season, most likely. This upcoming 25-26 season. So yeah, get prepared, I guess, for a retirement announcement at the end of next season. So yeah, I guess it's just a nice thing, a nice place for Chris Paul to end his career. But also, the Clippers, officially signing Bradley Beal after Beal finally got waived by the Suns. And then the Suns have to pay out part of Beal's contract. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit last episode, even though it didn't happen yet. I was it was being anticipated, but yeah, the Clippers basically turned Norman Powell. Yeah, they turned Norman Powell into Bradley Beal, Brook Lopez, and Chris Paul. So yeah, they got a lot deeper, and they were already a deep team. So they basically the concerns about Bradley Beal and how much he'll contribute to the Clippers. They're basically betting that Bradley Beal can be as good as Norman Powell, as long as Bradley Beal is as good as Norman Powell, Norman Powell wasn't making $50 million a year with the Clippers, but yeah, oh man, so hopefully. Yeah, anything else, yeah, just the Clippers are a deep team. Oh yeah, and the Lakers got another player. That's somewhat disappointing, but I cannot root against Marcus Smart, man. I cannot. I fell in love with him as a player when he was on the Celtics. When that was 2022, right? Yeah, 2022 was the year I started to incorporate the Celtics into my short list of NBA fandom, of teams that I'm I want to see this team succeed. So yeah, the Celtics, I really liked Marcus Smart on the Celtics. So yeah, I guess it's nice that he's on a relevant team. That was basically what I was thinking about with him. He got traded to Memphis for a good amount of stuff, but yeah, it seemed like he did. Yeah, his job got usurped by a rookie there, and then he got traded to Washington, and it was kind of just a holdover until he got to another team. So yeah, Marcus Smart is now on the Lakers. Yeah, and hopefully he'll for Lakers fans, he'll provide good perimeter defense, because we all know that the player they're building their franchise around, not the oldest player in the league, the other guy. The player they're building their franchise around isn't really known as a perimeter defender. So yeah, hopefully that's what Lakers fans need anyway. They need they need Marcus Smart to be good. And I guess it brings up the question of did the Lakers or the Clippers win more in their offseason? Did the Lakers improve on what they had by adding Luka? No, well, yeah, to Luka, by adding Ayton as a center and then Marcus Smart, or did the Clippers improve by switching Norman Powell with Bradley Beal and then adding Brook Lopez and Chris Paul to their roster. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, man? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out. The Clippers only just won 50 games last season with Kawhi missing a bunch of games. So, you know, the Lakers were the third seed with Luka, but, you know, like, it's like the thing where it's like they're a third seed, but you wouldn't really expect a third seed in the Western Conference to only win one game. Like, they won one game against the Wolves, okay? Like, I don't know. It's like they keep bringing that up. People keep bringing that up. Some people keep bringing that up, but I'm like it somewhat devalues you getting the third seed if you only won one playoff game, right? It's like, come on. It's, you know, it's like, cool, you were the third seed. Great. But yeah, I mean, making it as a high seed in the Western Conference is much more impressive than making it as a high seed in the Eastern Conference, obviously. But I don't know. Yeah, like, there's a clear, you know, hierarchy in the West where OKC is clearly, like, in most people's eyes, in my eyes, number one, right? In terms of the best team in the West, right? And then after that, you can say Houston or Denver, right? In my opinion. And then maybe the Clippers, maybe the Lakers, right? Like, it's all like congested there. The definitive, like, these teams are not good, like, have taken a significant step back, probably. In my opinion, would be the Sacramento Kings, who I think they're just done. Like, we had the Beam team, we had Light the Beam, and now it seems that they're just back to being painfully mediocre or below mediocre. And then, yeah, who else? The Jazz are tanking, basically. Yeah, you know, the Spurs could be one of those teams that could actually be good, but yeah, like, I don't think the Spurs are going to be like, yeah, like top 4 or 5 in the West. Probably not. The Wolves are still here, you know. they're still around. Yeah, anyone else? Yeah, the Mavericks. Yeah, the Mavericks are the most interesting team, you know. Yeah, where, like, okay, they're clearly not a championship contender, but, like, if Cooper Flag is, like, most of what was promised, like, most of what he was hyped up to be, right? Like, if he's most of that his rookie season, or even more, right? Like, I don't know. Like, if Kyrie Irving was fully healthy, like, and Cooper Flag it was the player he was hyped up to be in his rookie season, right? Like, I feel like people probably would be talking about the Mavs as, like, maybe they can win the West, you know? Maybe. But now I think with Kyrie, like, out most of the season with an ACL, right? It's like, I think it's more so that they're going to be a good team, you know? They're going to be a generally good team. They're probably going to, like, at worst be the 8th seed. Like, I don't see them, like, not making the play-in. Like I really don't see them not making the play-in if AD stays healthy the whole season. So, and they also added D'Angelo Russell. So it's like, I don't really see it. Like, they're not gonna miss the play-in with it. Anthony Davis playing, like, more than 50 games. Like, they're not. Like they're too deep of a team, and they have Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. You know, they have they have PJ Washington, right? Yeah. They have too deep of a team. It's a pretty good situation for Cooper Flag to be in. So yeah. And then, like, the Spurs, you know, if Wemby stays healthy, they have him. Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick this year. Stephon Castle, number 2 pick last year, right? Or yeah, like some, yeah. Just a high pick in last year's draft. So yeah, they could be a team to watch out for. Any other Western Conference teams that I'm forgetting about, man? I talked about Denver. Yeah, Jonas Valanciunas. Yeah, he says he is going to honor his contract and play for the Nuggets this season. So that's good. Oh, man. Any other teams in the West? Golden State. Yeah, like, I feel like most people, you know, like, Jonathan Kuminga, that situation is up in the air. like Brian Windhorst has been pointing out that the Warriors are most likely going to sign Al Horford, but like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm Al Horford, like why wouldn't I just retire at this point, you know? It's like he already won a championship, man. But yeah. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, Golden State is not in they're close to contending tier of Western Conference teams. They're kind of not, I don't know. It's not that they've taken a massive step back, but it's just they're not, yeah, like the Lakers have a better chance of like making it past the first round than the Warriors, you know, if I'm being extremely honest with myself. So yeah. And I don't even want to think about the Eastern Conference because it's just it's the Knicks, Pistons, Magic, Cavs, and then who the hell else even knows, man? Who even knows? I think like my prediction, my bold Western Conference prediction, like put this on the record. If they make the playoffs, if this happens, I'm gonna be so impressed with myself. But not bold, but not that bold of a prediction. The Portland Trailblazers are going to be at least the 10th seed in the West. That's a very, wow, going out on a limb. But I believe that the Portland Trailblazers can win enough games to be the 10th seed or better. And better by I mean the 9th seed. They can either be the 10th seed or the 9th seed in the Western Conference, man. That's how much I believe in Portland. That's how much I believe in them, man. I believe in the Portland Trailblazers that much. Oh man. And in the East, I don't know. Yeah, I think in the East, like my bold prediction is that the Celtics are gonna make the play-in, right? Yeah, they're going to make the play-in because it's the East, right? Making the play-in in the East versus the West, like two totally different propositions. Yeah, but the Hawks made a lot of moves. Didn't they get a draft pick? Yeah, like the Pelicans made like a really dumb trade on draft night that people are still talking about. They gave up their first round pick for next year just to move up in this year's draft to draft this guy called Derek Queen. And I guess, and from the Pelicans point of view, it's like we believe that Derek Queen is going to be really, really good for us, that it's worth sacrificing a first round pick. But a lot like insiders are just like, no, that Pelicans first round pick is going to be way, way, way more valuable, you know. But I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. Bill Simmons he suggested that like the Pelicans might like was it the basketball experiment in New Orleans is not working and has not worked. So maybe they could be relocated. Like I don't know. Like he talked about it with Zach Lowe and I'm like, okay, like what? Huh? I don't know. He said something to that effect. Like I don't think he said like he obviously is not wasn't definitive in saying the Pelicans are in danger of being relocated if they're bad enough. But like, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily make sense to me of like why you would just where would you relocate the Pelicans? Like where would you relocate them? I don't know. Yeah, and that's also another minor storyline with the NBA. I promise I'll escape this, okay? I promise. But a storyline with the NBA is the issue of expansion, right? And there has been some talk that some NBA owners don't necessarily want to expand just yet because like the way expansion works is that if you introduce new teams into the league, the revenue split between the owners is less because there's more teams. So like they might not some owners might not want to add more teams to the league just yet, something like that. Yeah, you're diluting the amount of money. So that, you know, like the amount of money split between the owners, you know, is gonna have to go through two new owners and not like the existing owners instead. So, you know, oh man. But yeah, it's like everyone is just Seattle and Vegas are like two likely spots, but there's also been talk of Mexico City, which would be interesting. Apparently it's gentrified. I don't know. I just see things sometimes. St. Louis, it was a city I thought of, but that's probably not gonna happen. Like, yeah, the other thing with expansion is that if the NBA expands, there is going to have to be realignment, and the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies are the two Western teams that are like that should be like, please move us to the East, you know? Oh, man. If the Wolves move to the Eastern Conference, man, hey, it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. They could, like, they really could beat the Knicks, you know, in a conference final series. Like, I don't know. Like, that would be fun to see. Just, like, either the Wolves or, like, a fully healthy Grizzlies team. Like, think of, like, the Grizzlies in 2022 when they were, like, you know, seemingly, like, the new young team that's gonna, you know, be at the top of the league, you know? Yeah, back when like before Ja Morant, did certain things, you know, before that happened with Ja Morant, you know, like when they had Dillon Brooks, you know, Brandon Clark, Steven Adams, you know, Jaren Jackson Jr., Defensive Player of the Year case, you know, like, I don't know, like those Grizzlies, you know, like those Grizzlies would give like so many Eastern Conference teams trouble, man. Like in 2022, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. That's the thing. Like either one of those teams should probably move to the Eastern Conference, man. It just makes sense geographically. Like a team in Memphis, Tennessee is like the West. It's like sure it is. even like New Orleans, it doesn't really make sense that that's the Western Conference, but yeah. Yeah, that's also the thing with realigning the teams that could be interesting to see. Now, in terms of other types of basketball, do I need to talk about CBA negotiations? Do I need to talk about it? Do I need to say that I agree that WNBA players should be paid more? It's like, do I really need to say that? Do I really need to just say that obviously WNBA players should be paid more, and the people making arguments otherwise, you know, I do not necessarily agree with? Do I need to say that? Do I need to say that, man? I do not necessarily know if I need to say that, but I guess yeah, I have the standings up. Yeah, I opened up Bleacher Report and just have the standings of all the teams up. So the top team in the league are the Minnesota Lynx. Yeah, like they're 22-5. Yeah, like they were like really, really good. I think they went like however many, they lost like one game through their first like 16 or so. Yeah. Then like the Liberty also were like a really hot team, but yeah, they're second at 17-7. You know, part of that of why they've been losing a few more games recently is because Jonquel Jones is out with an injury. But once Jonquel Jones like re-enters the lineup, like it's, you know, like there's really nothing to worry about with the Liberty. Yeah, like it seems that the finals, you know, unless something drastic happens, is going to be between the Liberty and the Lynx this year, because the Aces are squarely at 500. Yeah, they're at 13-13. And yeah, it's been kind of mostly a down season for the Aces. Yeah, it's just they haven't been able to, you know, be the team that they were when they were winning like back-to-back championships. And yeah, and that's just part of how things go, right? You know, you can't really expect them to be as dominant every single year, but I don't know. I guess like, yeah, they've tried. They traded for NaLyssa Smith? Yeah, I think Nekias Duncan has some interesting opinions on NaLyssa Smith as like a post player. I don't know. It seems like, yeah, that he like questions NaLyssa Smith as a defensive player. So yeah. I guess the one thing that I didn't mention in these past few episodes in regards to the WNBA is that the Golden State Valkyries are 11-13, which, you know, is not the best record, but it still should be stated that they're an expansion team, and that, you know, like I feel like in a lot of it probably should be like the opinion that they have been like overperforming by, you know, people's like preseason like predictions, you know, like they're challenging for a playoff spot, right? Like if they like continue to like play around 500 or like slightly above 500, they probably will like be challenging or probably be in like the 8th seed, because like how the WNBA works as of now is that there are 8 seeds. Yeah, it's purely like it says there's an Eastern and Western Conference here. I guess it is separated by conference. Yeah, there's 7 in the West, 6 in the East, but like it's mostly just like it's just the seeds are 1 through 8. Yeah, and then the 5 remaining teams are out of the playoffs. So yeah, it could be that the Valkyries in their first year as an expansion franchise could make the playoffs. So yeah, that's a cool thing. Some players on their team include Kayla Thornton, who I think Nekias Duncan said she's been their best defensive player. Veronica Burton, I think. And then Temi Fagbenle, Kate Martin, who was on the Aces, and before that was on Iowa with Caitlin Clark. She's on the team. So yeah, shout out to the Golden State Valkyries for being better than a lot of people thought. I think like yeah, in Nekias's like preseason rankings, he put them in like 12 or 13. That like yeah, it's not underselling them. It's just that most of the time an expansion team just does not do well, in their first season. But yeah, they are, playing really tough, and yeah, their defense has been really good. It's been a highlight of their identity as a team. And their head coach, Natalie Nakase, who is formerly part of the Aces coaching staff, has been doing a good job. And she probably would be a candidate for Coach of the Year if I were to vote for that. Yeah, another thing that's surprising here is that the Los Angeles Sparks, who in the past like 2-3 seasons in the WNBA just have not been able to get it together as a team. They've just missed the playoffs, I think, the last 3 seasons, but it says here that they've won 5 straight games. Yeah, and I saw like a highlight on ESPN's YouTube channel that like yeah, they beat the Liberty on like a last-second shot by Rickea Jackson, so that's cool. It's cool that they're winning games, It's cool. Kelsey Plum got traded there. It's nice. They're 11-14, so they're like they're in the prime position to challenge for the 8-7 seed, Yeah, and then the Dallas Wings are 7-19, so yeah. But it seems like Paige Beckers is obviously is seemingly the front runner for Rookie of the Year. But there has also been like other really good rookies, yeah, namely Kiki Iriafen and Sonia Citron, yeah. Sinai Rivers, I think, yeah, just those players, probably gonna make first team all W this season. So yeah, I just want to talk about women's basketball. I just want to talk about it. Just just a little bit. Just not that I'm watching the most amount of games. Like I just want to. I'm somewhat aware. Okay, I'm not totally ignorant. Okay, I want to be in that space of being not totally ignorant. There was someone with an opinion of like no one wants the WNBA to succeed more than me. I'm not gonna say the rest of that tweet, but it just started with no one wants the WNBA to succeed more than me. Says some random man on Twitter. Like no one wants the WNBA to succeed more than me. No one. Like no one. You could ask everyone in the universe. Like no one wants the WNBA to succeed more than me. No one. Like guys, no one wants the WNBA to succeed more than me. That guy said. And then said another thing. It's like, okay, all right. But yeah, anything else I could talk about? Anything else I could talk about with the WNBA? Oh yeah, Nafisa Collier probably is the front runner for MVP. It'll be nice to see her win MVP. She played at UConn, right? Yeah, she played at UConn. I think she was there she had played like a season or 2 with Brianna Stewart. She's around that time, so yeah. Anything else from the WNBA I want to talk about? And I just remembered, without having an outline, that there is something I want to talk about. So about this Paige Beckers, man. Something that I've been checking out on Instagram. Something that I've been checking out on Instagram is something related to Paige Beckers. Let me see if I could. Yeah, I have to look something up from my like Gmail account, man. Yeah, there's something that like I think this is just purely algorithm driven. Yeah, but yeah, Paige Beckers, if you didn't know, Yeah. Yeah, Paige Beckers, if you didn't know, played for UConn before she was part of the Dallas Wings. And she played on UConn. She played at UConn at the same time as this other player, AZ Fudd. And yeah, I was aware of this like as of like the previous 2 episodes and when I was recording it, but I just didn't have time to talk about it. But oh man, there's just something interesting that I want to mention, just because it's a fun thing to mention, is that Paige and AZ are dating. I don't know why I had to freaking like tease it like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is a cool thing. And what I have up on my phone now is Tumblr. Like I think I made a Tumblr, but I don't know. I didn't post anything to it. I think I posted one thing to it. Like when like there was the scare of like, is Twitter dying? It's like no, it died in 2024. It's still somewhat alive, but you know, I don't know. It's just not necessarily what it used to be, man. I don't know. But like I like Tumblr sends me like emails of like, here are like 5 blogs you'll like, right? And like most recently, the 5 blogs they're recommending me through email are Tumblrs that are fan pages for Paige and AZ Fudd. So like I did not know this was a thing. Like, this is a very, like, 2013, 2014 Tumblr thing of, like, like, I did not know people still have Tumblrs dedicated to this sort of stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess this is a Tumblr segment, yeah. I don't know. This is just, like, I don't know. There's just, like, a lot of, stuff here of like they post like pictures, images, content, whatever of Paige and AZ, you know, just being a couple or doing like couple adjacent things. I don't know. There's just, I don't know. It started, yeah, like I think like I was first aware of this when there was like an Instagram post I saw, and like on that Instagram post it said that like, oh, like AZ Fudd made her relationship with Paige official because she had a phone case, and like on the phone case said Paige Becker's girlfriend. So okay. And yeah, I don't know, their ship name is Paisley, I think, Pazzi. And yeah, I don't know, it's just a nice thing that, like, you know, I think like Paige Becker's fans have known for a while that she was dating her, probably. I think people in the know like people in like the UConn women's basketball fandom knew about this for a while, but I don't know, it's just, you know, I think I somewhat had an inkling of like, you know, like there's a reason why certain people on Twitter are gravitating towards Paige, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to start like a whole thing of like, oh, look how Paige's fandom is so much better than Caitlin's. It's like, please, I'm not in that, okay? Please. I am not saying anything of that sort, okay? I'm just mentioning that, you know, maybe some people could think that, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk about just a nice thing, because we just need nice things, you know? We just need nice things to talk about in this day and age, you know? Ozzy Osbourne dying, you know? Hulk Hogan dying, Malcolm Jamal Warner dying, you know? It's like we just need friggin' nice things to talk about, and this is a nice thing. Paige and AZ are a couple, they're girlfriends, you know? And, you know, I think they probably got together at some point when they were at UConn. I wonder what that first date was like, man. I wonder what their first date was like and who paid, you know? I think there was like a TikTok made something. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm checking Tumblr out and there's like TikToks. The fact that AZ is vibing to Folded by Kehlani is too cute, considering the fact that this song is on Paige Becker's July playlist. Like, this is I don't know, man. I don't know how old these people are. But I don't know, man. Oh god. Not to be that person, but can y'all stop stalking her playlist every 5 seconds? I mean, people who make these accounts are you know, 2 or 3 steps removed from being stalkers, you know. There's, like, pictures of, you know, Paige playing. Oh, look at that. I see Caitlyn Chen here. Look at that. I see Caitlyn Chen in one of these photos. Oh yeah, did I talk about it? Yeah, another Chinese player. Yeah, Lee Yuru. Lee Yuru was a player. Like last season, she was on the Los Angeles Sparks, and then she signed with the Seattle Storm of this season before this WNBA season started, and then partway through the season, she requested a trade, right? So Lee Yuru requested a trade, and my first thought upon hearing that was like, wait, a player like Lee Yuru can request a trade, you know? like, I mean, yeah, she is like a good player, but like, I don't know, like, I did not know that, you know, maybe there is more player empowerment in the WNBA than I originally thought, you know? So yeah, she got traded from the Seattle Storm to the Dallas Wings. So yeah, Paige and Lee Yuru are playing together. So yeah. I'm just laying in my bed and all I can think about is the matcha I'm gonna drink in the morning. Okay. Oh man, yeah, there's a preview. Yeah, I have to sign in. Can I see more? Yeah, no, I have to search the Tumblr thing again. You have to search it again. Oh man. Yeah, they're like blogs that are just purely on AZ. They're blogs that are about Paige and AZ. I don't even know, man. Just weird. Oh man. What is it? For those curious about AZ and her unrivaled deal, the league is heading to Miami. Yeah, okay. From July 31st to August 2nd to shoot content. Oh man, I really not into that word, but you know, whatever. Where's that video of AZ from? Something, yeah. This is Tumblr, man. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever done a Tumblr related thing, man. Yeah. I have to sign in to just keep on, like, viewing the vlogs more than just, like, 5 posts, but whatever. Mind you, AZ aside, Paige has classic does not play in the snow energy. In another life, it's Paige. Oh my god, another life, it's Paige and Paige and someone as a couple. Have you seen the way? That's like a YA freaking book, man. I don't know. There's that book, She Drives Me Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, She Drives Me Crazy is a book about, like, a basketball player and a cheerleader, like, having, like, a romance, like, having, like, a rivals to lovers kind of romance. I don't know. I read that author's other book, which was called Late to the Party. Yeah, Late to the Party is a book about this girl. Yeah, she's like with like her group of friends, and like her group of friends have not done like the traditional like high school shit of like, it's like, hey, we're gonna have a party, you know? And like yeah, it's also somewhat like a queer romance in it too. So that's another book. It could be on my like top 50 books list, but I don't know. Oh man. Yeah, how long is it gonna take until I expand that book list? I don't know, just a bit, you know. But yeah, is that all I wanted to talk about basketball wise before I talk about another thing? I do have another list. Yeah, I have another list that is unrelated. It's not books or anime. It is another thing entirely. So I think I might get to that. Yeah. Anything else I have to talk about in this? Yeah, I did not make an outline. So yeah, I'm talking about, yeah, Paige and AZ stuff. I'm sure I could just like look that up on TikTok. Yeah, I just look up hashtag freaking their ship name. It's like, okay, look, man, look, I'm familiar with you know things. You know, I watch girls band anime. Okay, you know, this is not unfamiliar territory. I just got done reading the Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School, I guess. Yeah, short review of it. Yeah, since I already talked about it, it's a really good book. You know, it probably is gonna be in my top 10 favorite books of the year I've read. List that I would hopefully post at the end of the year. If this series makes it that far, I don't know. It could get canceled. I don't know. It could get canceled after this mishap with the intro. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully it's gonna be on that list. Hopefully I'll have an episode out at the end of the year, which is only 5 months away. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah. The fun thing about it is, like, I talked about in the last episode how like the naming conventions for the chapters are like commandments, right? Like the chapter titles are written like commandments, and then like minor spoiler, but like there's a point in the latter half of the book where like the chapters stop being named by commandments, and then the next chapter afterwards is just says like screw the commandments, live by the code. And then the rest of the chapters are in Spanish, so that's cool. That's a really cool thing of just like, yeah, no, I was having fun with this, like naming these chapters after commandments in a tongue-in-cheek way, but like nah, screw it. Sometimes it shouldn't be like that. Oh man, I don't know. I just like the layers with the characterization in it, like how, I think like the main character Yami's father, like that's something like that I really enjoyed. I talked about how like her relationship with her father at the beginning is totally different, from her relationship with her father at the end. I guess that's all I'll say. I have to stop spoiling these books, but I don't know. Oh man. Okay, okay. I will spoil one aspect of it because it's not necessarily the main aspect of it. Okay. There's this character called Bo, right? Yeah, she is spoiler alert, the love interest of the story that Yami, is interested in the book. And Bo has these parents. Part of Bo's character is that she's adopted. She's Chinese, but she's adopted by white parents. And her white parents, in a very well-intentioned effort to make it so that like she feels somewhat like, in touch with her Chinese culture, right? They put all these like Chinese decorations in her home, right? Like, so in the beginning, like Yami goes to Bo's house early on in the book, and then like she's somewhat nervous when she like has to explain like, oh yeah, no, my parents put that up. It's like, look, they're not those kind of parents. They're not those kind of parents. Please don't let me I'm not gonna let myself go into other conversations around whatever you think, if you're listening to this that would entail. But one thing that was interesting about it is that, it's somewhat like a little mini story arc, like later on in the book. I know I'm spoiling it somewhat, but I don't know. It's just not the main like storyline, so I feel somewhat comfortable. Is that she, I feel like, she like internally feels anxiety over like why her parents have these like Chinese decorations in her home without her permission, or like without her ever like okaying it or saying like, I want these decorations up in our house, so near the end of the book, like later on, like she has a frank conversation with her parents, and she's just like, like I kind of want to explore my own culture on my own terms, like I would appreciate it if you didn't have these decorations up, like I appreciate that you were trying to make me feel more comfortable, but like I don't necessarily need these kinds of decorations up, when I don't necessarily want them here, right? And her parents are accepting of it. They're just like, no, like they obviously were well intentioned. It's not like a case of like they're being a certain way about it, in a certain negative way about it. They're not being discriminatory or like in any sense, right? They're not being they're not being insensitive in any sense, but their parents are just like, oh yeah, no, we had the best intentions. We just thought it would be a nice thing, but she's like, no, like I want to explore my own Chinese culture on my own terms, there's not that many Chinese people in Arizona where the book takes place, right? Like it's a nice thing. It's a nice little storyline that I picked up on, to praise the book even more than I already do. I thought that was really nice because if anyone has been listening to these episodes, a category of books I've been really into lately are just books written by Asian American authors, and books that deal with like issues surrounding Asian American identity and the Asian American diaspora, such as The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, such as Wild Meat and the Bully Burgers by Lois Ann Yamanaka, such as Dog Eaters and The Gangster of Love by Jessica Hagedorn, such as Lecce by R. Zamora Lindmark, books I've all read within the past 2 or so years. So yeah, I just thought it just reminded me of like, I just kept on joking to myself. I'm just like, this is the stuff I want, man. This is it, man. Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just, yeah. I don't know. I think it's been kind of a theme for me this year, you know? I don't know. I've mentioned before that I am like, studying sociology, and that's what my degree is in. So like maybe like, yeah, I'm somewhat, I've developed an interest, like I guess like maybe if my university offered just a purely like Asian American studies major, I would be pursuing that, but I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking, yeah, I think a part of me is joking, like, if I were to write a thesis, maybe part of what I'm reading, part of those books I'm reading that I mentioned could be part of that, I could use that as part of my research, because I don't want to be someone who just only reads research papers, man. I want to read fiction. I like fiction. Most fiction, maybe not most fiction, but like certain types of fiction, like my interest in reading and literature is through fiction and not nonfiction, so yeah, unless it's like Fish Cheeks by Amy Tan, yeah, which is nonfiction, but yeah, it's just a nice thing, just a nice little storyline involving Bo in the book that I really liked, nothing else to say about that. Yeah, anyways, yeah, I've just finished it as of today, so I'm gonna find another book to read at some point. So, oh man. Anyways, I guess, yeah, I'll just come back after this little bit of a break with a list segment. All right, I am back from the break, and I forgot that I had something else basketball related to talk about. I know. I'm sorry. If anyone is watching, it's like, damn, I thought he would get to the list segment already. But there was something. It's not that deep. Yeah, it's not that, like, I'm not going to go that in depth to it. But it's just something I thought I would mention, Oh, man. One thing to know about my basketball fandom is that I dislike the Philadelphia 76ers as an organization. I do not like the process. Ever since I learned about the process and learned what it was, I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I do not want the process to succeed. I want it to die. I hate the Philadelphia 76ers as an organization for trying to do that. And I think if the Philadelphia 76ers win a championship, it'll be the worst thing to happen in the National Basketball Association since the second apron, okay? It'll be horrible, Like OKC and the Boston Celtics did it better, okay? They had better processes, Sam Presti, like, is what frickin' Sam Hinkie and Daryl Morey taught they could be, Sam Presti, man, that's who is the frickin' process guy. That is who he is. But in saying that, I really do not want it to get misrepresented. I do not hate Joel Embiid as a basketball player. I do not hate him. I just am just someone who maybe laughs at some of the jokes that his haters say about him, the flopping, him never being healthy. But I don't know. I think like it really was a turning point with the 2024 season, with that knee injury, that he got from, I think, like Jonathan Kuminga, like on his knee, something like that. Like, I feel like, Joel Embiid has kind of turned into a tragic figure at this point of just like, he just can't stay healthy, and, he was given this massive contract that most people say, now that Bradley Beal's contract is not a thing anymore, is that it's probably the worst contract in the league alongside Paul George, who is on the team with him, right? Like him and Paul George are just owed more than like $200 something million over the next like however many years, right? And it's just, yeah, it does not look that good if you're a Sixers fan, because if you're a Sixers fan, drafting VJ Edgecombe is great. Jared McCain being a good draft pick is great, Tyrese Maxey being a really good player is great, but like, you're not gonna get, to winning a championship without Joel Embiid being healthy, right? Like, you need Joel Embiid to be healthy for for most of the season, regular season, and all of the postseason in order to have a shot at making the finals, right? And like, this should be the Sixers' year. This should be like a clear shot for if the Sixers are healthy that they could make it to the finals, and maybe they will. I'll be a little salty about it if they do. I will make jokes about it and be upset if they do make the finals, but I don't know. I feel like I'd be okay if they make the conference finals at least, you know? Even though you can't joke about Joel Embiid making the not making the conference finals, you know? I guess it'll just shift to Donovan Mitchell, but you know, like you can't really, if they make the conference finals, the Sixers do, like you can't joke about Embiid never making it to the conference finals, but I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm somewhat turned on, you know, I want to see Joel Embiid have, like, postseason success, even if it is, like, late in his career, even if he's not the MVP candidate we've seen, like, that who can score 70 points against the Spurs, who can score more points than more points per game than minutes played, you know? Like, he was great. Like, he was going to win that MVP in 2024 if he didn't get injured, right? Like, he was going to win that, you know, definitively, you know? In 2023, like, I don't necessarily think that he won it that, like, like, that open and shut because, you know, of, like, the Nuggets and Jokic, but, you know, there's some other things, I don't know. Nick Wrong was just like, well, in 2023, it seemed like they were going to do the wrong thing and give Jokic another MVP. And then Kendrick Perkins did some race stuff and shifted the opinion. I did not agree with the race stuff. I'm sorry. Sidetrack. There was an article written about Joel Embiid. It's called Joel Embiid Sees You. And then I read it. It was on ESPN.com. Okay, there you go. And it basically, yeah, it's not a piece that's purely hyping up Embiid of just like, he is so misunderstood. He, like, look how bad you should feel about him, you know? It's not that kind of piece. Neither is it an article that's like, look how freaking much Embiid is disappointed Philadelphia. Look how much he's not lived up to being freaking, like, the city's, like, savior, you know? Like, it's not that either. It's not a piece that destroys him, or it's not a piece that inflates him to an unfair degree, you know? Either way. It's just an article written by, you know, it's an article written by, you know, someone who, like, has gotten, like, a closer relationship with Embiid, like, over this past season, like, who just wanted to add some context, you know? It's a context-adding article, you know? And, it's just, it goes through, like, Embiid's whole career, all the way back from, like, him, like, in Cameroon, you know, first, you know, learning to play basketball at, like, the age of 16, you know? Like, yeah, like, like, late, you know, because most people just play playing AAU by, like, 7 years old now, in the US at least. But, like, Embiid picked up basketball pretty late, and then he got recruited, and then he played at college. He played college basketball at Kansas. He was really good there, ended up as the number 3 overall pick, you know, in the 2014 draft. Andrew Wiggins went number 1. Marcus Smart was also in that draft. 2014. Yeah, just, you know, players were in that draft. Yeah, I think, like, Jabari Parker was in that draft, wasn't he? Yeah, some players. Yeah, I may or may not be wrong about that, but yeah, like, it's an article that basically goes through all of his career and just adds, like, context of, like, this is just, you know, these are some other things that have been going on throughout his life, you know, like. Yeah, like, one of the fun details from it, that Zach Lowe talked about is that, like, Joel Embiid is, like, notorious for not being that trusting of people. He doesn't open up to people that much, you know? Like, you know, like, he's very, you know, he's always afraid that people will betray him or betray his trust, you know? So, like, when he was injured, because he got drafted, right? And because of, like, a foot injury, like, he missed his entire rookie year. And then he missed his entire sophomore year, too, because of an injury, right? It wasn't until the 2016-17 season that he was able to even play, right? And, like, that was part of, like, how his persona as, like, Joel Embiid got, like, formed, because, like, he couldn't play. So, like, he, like, someone who was, like, you know, known for being closed off up until that point, like, he started going on social media, you know, because that was pretty much the only thing he could do, you know? you know, yeah, is it? I think like the article mentions like it was a surprise to Bill Self, like the coach at Kansas, that like, wow, you're like, what? Maybe you should be off of social media. You know, maybe it's not that good, but I don't know. It's just how he dealt with like being injured those first 2 years. So Embiid misses his first 2 years with injury, right? And then like he grew to distrust the organization, the Sixers organization, because like they didn't have the right medical staff around him, like they did not understand. Like he was trying to tell the Sixers at the time that his foot wasn't healing properly, but the Sixers people, whoever it was, like there was a intern instead of like a full-on medical team around him at that point, right? Like they just did not listen to him. So yeah, that was the one of the changes when Sam Hinkie came in later on, or maybe he was already there, but like one of the changes from those first 2 years too, like his third year and beyond, was that like they had a whole team around him, right? And it goes into this like, yeah, there's like this trainer, right, who he grew close with, but at the end of the article, right, it shows that the trainer, that trainer has not talked to Embiid in months, right? Like they like it was that like Joel Embiid has had situations where he's been cut off by people in the past, but like it seems that like Embiid like cut this person off from his life, right? He was the one to cut that person off first before she could do it to him, right? I don't know. It's a thing. Yeah. I don't know. It was just an interesting article. I'm just going like off of what I remember from it, but yeah, it's like illuminating in the fact that it's not supposed to really be like this is why you should feel bad for him necessarily. It's just like these are some details to take into account in terms of his story, like the article like kind of somewhat posits like the the person who wrote the article like asks Embiid like near the end, right, of like, what if this plan to get healthy, what if this doesn't work for you, like what if, like he also asks Daryl Morey that the same question of just like, what if that contract you gave Embiid doesn't work out, what if he doesn't end up becoming what the player he once was, what if he doesn't get back to being the player he once was? And then Daryl Morey like takes a second, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to choose to think positive. Like, I don't want to think about that right now, and then Embiid doesn't even answer it either, right? Like, it's like, part of the article at the end is just like, what if this actually is the end? Like, what will we remember about Joel Embiid as a basketball player? What will we, as a basketball viewing public who can be extremely harsh to freaking athletes, just because it's like they get paid millions of dollars, they can get criticized, right? It doesn't harm them, they're millionaires anyway. Who cares? That's the whole thing, including me. I know I'm at fault for it. Okay, look, I just make a few jokes sometimes. Okay. Look, man, yeah, Jokic likes horses more than basketball. Jason Tatum is corny. LeBron is too much of a freaking passive-aggressive diva, and then Rich Paul controls everything. Luka doesn't take care of his weight. It's like, look, every player gets it, But yeah, with Joel Embiid, like, I don't know. Like, the narrative is really turned on him, Even, like, people like Zach Lowe, who has stated, like, over and over that he wants Embiid to have, like, a great playoff run in him, that he believes that there's going to be a point where Embiid has like a playoff run where he just dominates and becomes the player he was in the regular season, putting up 30 points and 10 rebounds maybe, and just does that for a postseason and carries the Sixers to the finals. But yeah, even Zach Lowe, he's just like, it's hard to think that's gonna happen now. It's hard to think that even has a shot at happening, knowing what we know, that like Embiid had another knee surgery, and that the article said like he doesn't have a timeline necessarily, that like it's still like the hope is that he's ready to start ramping up by the time training camp starts, right? And the phrase like ramping up, right? It's like he's ramping up, I don't know. Is Embiid gonna be ready to play by the start of the season? Well, he's ramping up. I don't know. That's all we know about Joel Embiid, I don't know. It really, I don't know. I guess it just made me somewhat existential, right? Not me. It made me feel existential about, Joel Embiid's career. Is that, like, he really has just turned into a punchline, if just like, his contract's too big. He can't stay healthy, it sucks, but I don't know. Like, even, like, that's the thing, like, even within Sixers fandom, right? Like, I feel like the percentage of Sixers fans who are fully like, no, Embiid can still be what he once was, I feel like they're just dwindling, Like, there's this podcast, I don't know if I mentioned it before, called The Rights to Ricky Sanchez. I could look up why it's called The Rights to Ricky Sanchez, but I don't know. It's just a podcast where they talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. And the host of it, even him is like, he's just like, there's a lot of there's things that Embiid does that piss me off, Like, I think, like, a thing that, like, pissed him off during the season was that, like, he was annoyed that Joel Embiid said to Lisa Salters that, like, he might need another surgery. Like, he's annoyed that he said that. He's like, his response was like, there's no surgery that's gonna make this better. I don't know what surgery you're talking about. Like, but it's like, he did get another surgery, though. That's the thing, and he's like recovering from it, and he's like starting another rehab process, and he's gonna ramp up by the time the season starts, and hopefully we'll be ready. And that's the other thing that, like, not even outside of the article, like, Paul George revealed that he got a knee surgery, right? It's like, dude, like, when will it end with the Sixers, man? Like, both Embiid and Paul George, their knees are just like, dude, like, what's going on with their knees, man? Like, they just always have surgery, man. I don't know. It's a thing. Yeah, I get the larger point is that even within Sixers fandom, who, like, I think, the Sixers fans, maybe they're just like, we're loyal to our players, we're loyal to people, but it's like, no, I don't know, a lot of them probably have lost faith in Embiid becoming healthy, Yeah, there's like, even like, there was like a tweet from like Philly, like, media that responded to the article, right? Like a radio show in Philadelphia that, like, where, like, it was, the comments were quoted in a tweet, right? And they just said, like, yeah, I like, this just seems like Joel Embiid, like, wanting to make himself look better, right? It's just like even like Philly media, yeah, like, it's not, yeah, like, Philly media, like, they're just like, yeah, nah, we're not buying this, it's like they're just like, it's not, there's no safe like space for it, like, you have people like Zach Lowe who are doubting that Embiid can never be healthy again. You have Philly's own media on podcasts and radio shows, being like, what is Embiid doing, right? And yeah, like, and that's the thing, you have like a lot of other NBA people being like, yeah. And you have like general NBA fans who are not Sixers fans, being like, yeah, Embiid's done. He's cooked. His career's like mostly over. It's like his days of being an MVP are over. It's like, I don't know, like, he really is just up against the wall at this point in his career, And like, it would be such a cool story if he can get back to being, most or if not all of the MVP player he was, in 2024, It's just, he played in the Olympics, like, he was the key part in why the Team USA didn't lose to Serbia, I don't know. Yeah, there's also like a part where, like, with his dog, right? Yeah, who, like, his dog was, spoiler alert for the article, his dog was crushed by an elevator, which was a really sad thing. And like, the other part I didn't get to because I got sidetracked was that because Embiid wasn't trusting of people, he, in his apartment, when like he consistently had like medical people come in and out of his apartment when he was injured with his foot, right? He left money on the table. He left money on like the table of his apartment. He left like $20 bills out in the open, and he was testing to see that if any of those people who would come in and out of his house would take a $20 bill from the table, that he would know, and he'd be like, okay, I can't trust you because you took that money, like, it's like, that is just how the level of like distrust he has, that's how hard it is for him to trust people, and how closed off he can be, because of just the things that have happened to him, yeah. It also goes into like his brother dying, which was the reason why like he shoved a reporter, because the reporter brought up his brother and his son, like in an article in a column he wrote, right? you know, and Embiid just says he doesn't regret doing that, you know, like, yeah. And also he like talks about like he knows who snitched on like calling out that team meeting, you know, who snitched, who leaked the fact that there was a team meeting the Sixers had where Tyrese Maxey was calling him out for being late. It's like, I don't know. There was just a lot of stuff in that article, man, that, you know, it was just illuminating, you know. It's not supposed to be like this is why you should feel bad for Joel Embiid. It's not supposed to be this is why he's been disappointing. It's not supposed to be like feel better for him. Like you should not hate him, you know. It's more just like here's some context. Here's just like the somewhat behind the scenes of his career up until this point, and like maybe this is, you know, somewhat of like a career closing, yeah, more so like a retrospective on his career, you know, if this actually is the last time he can, like, you know, be a consistent, like, player, you know, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, is he going to be, is Joel Embiid going to play at least 50 games next season? Like, who knows? You know, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I just feel a little bad because I was, like, fooled. I was bamboozled last season into thinking, like, yeah, no, Embiid is just not going to play back-to-backs. No, he's going to be healthy to start the season. And he wasn't. Like, Embiid was not healthy to start the season last year in 2024-25. Like, he had an injury. They were saying ramping up, but no, he was injured. He was injured. Like, the Sixers did not say Joel Embiid is injured. Joel Embiid has injury, right? They lied. They just straight up lied. They just straight up just freaking misled everyone. And they just misled just me, just being like, no, he's ramping up. He's ramping up, guys. It's like, no, he was injured. He was injured the whole season, man. Even when he was playing, he wasn't fully healthy. Like, it's not, he was injured. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. And that's the thing, like, is he gonna be healthy, you know? Like, can he be healthy enough to play during the postseason? Like, who knows? You know, that's the thing. If this is like, what is gonna become of his career if it just ends like this? If it just ends with, like the rest of his career, he just was never able to stay on the court for more than however many games, and then because of that, the Sixers, you know, don't make the playoffs or like get eliminated in round one. Like, I don't know. Like, who knows, man? That's the thing. It's just somewhat, you know. Like, I fully admit I'm someone who does not like the process. Ever since I first learned about it, I hate the process as a concept. I hate that idea. I like it when the Thunder do it, but I hate it when the Sixers tried to do it. I hate the fact that, you know, even though there were reasons to hate Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, I hate the fact that the Sixers were lucky to get frickin' 2 number 1 overall picks by tanking. Yet, you know, like, I love the fact that they didn't work out, but I don't know. Like, they could have drafted Jason Tatum instead of frickin' Fultz. They could have drafted Jamal Murray instead of Ben Simmons. They could have drafted Michael Porter Jr. instead of whatever. I don't know. Like, they could have drafted differently, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Who could have, like, predicted what happened with Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons? I know, but, like, I don't know. I'm acting as if, like, I was an NBA fan in 2018. I was not. I was reading certain young adult books. I know. I was not aware of the Philadelphia 76ers or Joel Embiid in 2018. I'm sorry. I know. But I don't know. I like filling the gaps in my knowledge, you know? That's the thing. So, yeah, I guess that's just the Embiid article. I said I wouldn't go too deep into it, but, yeah. That's basically all of, like, the details from it I wanted to get into. Of just, like Embiid has just been like this lightning rod for discourse of just, like, you know, he's been hated by so many people. He's been beloved, you know, by Philly. There was a time when he was almost universally beloved by Philly fans, but now that era seems to have passed, you know? Like, you know, like, Sixers fans are mostly just like, oh, God, it just sucks that, like, if he just could stay healthy, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just a thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that Jared McCain is a good player at least, right? But yeah, I don't know. That's basically just the article. Is there anything else? Yeah, Joel Embiid sees you, man. Joel Embiid sees me too. And if you do see me, and if you do hear this, Joel, look, I'm sorry for anything that I might have said that it was too mean, okay? Look, man, I just, at the height of Embiid's rivalry with Embiid. Like, that's the thing. Like, it was great. It was great seeing like Embiid and Jokic play against each other. And then like Embiid won, I think, like most of those matchups, right? Like Jokic won the matchup where they last played in Denver. Don't get me started on that, but I don't know. It's like, yeah, it's the thing. Like a Nuggets Sixers finals would be scary. It would be horrifying. Like I would develop a heart condition based off of those finals. But I don't know. It would have been fun to see. It doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, but yeah. That's basically all I wanted to get to with that article. Yeah. I'll post the name of the person who wrote it in the video. But yeah, that's just the article, I guess. Anyways, my list segment. Yeah. I think this is going to be a shorter list segment. Yeah. Oh, man. I think it is. Yeah. I have time for one list segment only. I am not going to overpromise. Okay? All right. Oh, man. Yeah. Do I have to... Lists are arbitrary. Lists are arbitrary. Who cares if something is ranked number 2 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 43 or whatever? But yeah, this is purely a top 10. But it could expand to a top 20. I don't know if I'm gonna, make it a top 20. But the list I want to get to today in this episode is my top 10 favorite Daria episodes of all time. So this is a list I came up with, I guess, because I think like this year I talked about getting the Daria restoration project, and like all the files of it are on my phone. Don't ask me how I got it. I explained it in that video. It's like a freaking over 20-something-year-old show, right? It's like, okay, I admit to all wrongdoing, okay? Look, man, I saw that I could have the episodes of Daria with most of the original music, okay? I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, okay? I bid on the opportunity, okay? You have to take advantage of these things, but yeah. Oh, man. Anyways, these are my top 10 favorite Daria episodes of all time, and I think I am going to do this how you should reveal a top 10 list, which is 10 to 1. 10 first and then number 1 last. Hopefully, right? All right, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. Also, side note for this top 10 list. This does not include the 2 TV movies. So this does not include Is It Fall Yet or Is It College Yet? Because I feel like if I included those, they would probably take like the number 2, 3 spots, like those are really freaking good, man. I watched Is It Fall Yet last year, right? And I watched like Is It College Yet twice. I think like pretty much every episode I've watched at least twice. Yeah. I've watched like the episodes I really love from this list like 3, 4, maybe even 5 times, right? But yeah. To give some context, I started watching Daria in the summer between my junior and senior year, so that must have been the summer of 2017. I know, it was a long time ago. It was almost a decade ago. Do not remind me of that. I do not want to remind myself of that more so than I already do, but yeah. Anyways, number 10 on my list of favorite Daria episodes, Season 2, the Season 2 finale, Right Where It Hurts. So, yeah, I guess this list, I'm going to be posting like a line or like a clip of like my favorite line, the funniest line for each episode. So, yeah, here it is.
I remember asking my father to play Go Fish!
Triple bypass, Dad.
Okay, I'm all right. Anyway, so screw it then. We never played a family card game. Let's play one now. Bridge?
Gin.
Hearts.
Done.
Okay, I'm gonna play a game of hearts with my beautiful wife and my 2 great kids.
Oh, Jake.
How about it, Daria? Hearts?
Deal me in.
This episode is about the season finales of Daria are always really good. Yeah, they're always like near the top. I have like a few of them on this list. So this episode is about Daria, like she's given an assignment, a special assignment by Mr. O'Neill, because I think like they're given like a reading list of like read these books or do something based on these books, and then Daria's like, Mr. O'Neill, I've read all these books already. And then Mr. O'Neill's like, okay, why don't you write a short story? Why don't you, Daria, write a short story about, with a team, yeah. And then, like, in the middle of it, she has trouble, and then Mr. O'Neill's like, why don't you make it about a card game? Why don't you include a card game in it, And, like, yeah, just, like, I think the really nice thing about it is just the ending scene. Is just that, like, you see, like, Daria imagine what her future could look like, and, like, what her whole family's future is like, of just, like, her and Quinn in the future, and Quinn has, like, a bunch of kids, but Daria is most likely, like, childless, but, like, running an English department at a university, Like, she, like, writes about pop culture and stuff, she comments, she has, like, some bold feminist takes for the early 2000s, probably. I don't know. Like, yeah, I pause it earlier? I had a question early on. Would Daria Morgendorffer watch the Barbie movie? And if so, would Daria enjoy the Barbie movie, or would she dislike the Barbie movie? That's a good question, right? Like, Jane would love it. Jane would love it, obviously. Jane would drag Daria to see it. But would Daria Morgendorffer, based on everything you've known about her in the series, would Daria Morgendorffer like the Barbie movie? That's a really good question that, I don't know, I flip-flop back and forth on. Okay. Next one on the list. Number 9. Season 1 episode. Road Warrior. So, yeah. I guess here's my favorite clip from that episode.
Hey, these are stretch pants. I'm wearing stretch pants.
They're leggings. They're leggings.
It's all right.
Yeah, so this episode is basically the introduction of, I think it was a little bit before this, but yeah, like, this is the first episode that fully takes advantage of Daria having a crush on Jane's older brother, Trent. Yeah. And also, this list is very arbitrary, man. I don't know. I think these are my top 10 favorite episodes, but, things could change. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really all of the songs in it. There's a lot of freaking songs in it. There's, like, Everybody Hurts by REM on it. Like, there's just a lot of freaking music, like, the songs that they just packed into each episode because they could do that because it ran on MTV. I don't know. I just like the subtle scene and, like, yeah, the subtlety, not so subtlety of, like, Daria being into Trent, but, like, Jane, like, totally picking up on it, and Jane just trying to be like, hey, look, hey, Daria, here, you sit with Trent or something like that, just, like, all of just, like, things. I don't know, I don't think she sits with Trent, but yeah, but just, like, the ways, not just in this episode, but, like, throughout the whole, like, Daria liking Trent somewhat storyline throughout the series of just just what the ways in which, like, Jane tries to freaking put Daria in situations that make her uncomfortable. It's just a fun episode for that aspect. Oh man, number 8 on my favorite Daria episodes, an episode I did not watch when I was watching it originally, but it is, like, a really, really good episode. Gifted, from season 2. And I guess here's my favorite line from it.
Look, Jody, I'm too smart and too sensitive to live in a world like ours at a time like this with a sister like mine. Maybe I do miss out on stuff, but this attitude is what works for me now.
Then you'll understand what works for me now. At home, I'm Jody. I can say or do whatever feels right. But at school, I'm the queen of the Negroes, the perfect African-American teen, the role model for all of the other African-American teens at Lawndale. Oops, where'd they go?
So, yeah, this is a really funny episode, man. As is with, like, 99% of Daria, There was, like, the episode, yeah, Depth Takes a Holiday, which probably would be on the lower end of, like, episodes, yeah, like that, of the series. But, yeah, this episode is just, yeah. It's about Daria and Jody, right? Yeah, who was supposed to be the lead of a Daria sequel series / reboot / spinoff / whatever. But it was recently found out that the series is not continuing, and I'm somewhat like, it's somewhat sad, but, like, yeah, like, I feel like if Daria was not going to continue originally, it does not need a reboot, man. We do not need to reboot Daria of all things. It should have continued on into college, but yeah, that's the thing. I feel like that's the only thing I would accept, right? If like Daria continued into the early 2000s and like had like Daria and Jane in college, that would be so good, man. It would be so good. But this is about Daria and Jane visiting a gifted school, like a high-end prep school, and like just like the realization that like, oh, like Lawndale is full of like vapid, like shallow freaking dumb people, but like smart nerdy people can be just as freaking annoying and just as freaking they can be just as shitty as just freaking the shallow dumb people at Lawndale. It's like, also there's like really good, yeah, like this is the best episode probably that showcases like Jodie as a character, right? Of just, yeah, like I think like the clip I showed had to do with Jodie in some regard, right? Of just like her having to be the model minority, of just like being one of the only, or like, yeah, with Mac, like one of the only black students at Lawndale, and just like her, like, her parents putting so much pressure on her to be this like freaking 4.0 student with like 100 million extracurriculars, and like her summers are never free, like, like she has to intern for like a congressman one summer. It's like she has all these internships, all these extracurriculars, because her parents are like upper middle class, like black parents who like work their way up, right? It's like, and they are instilling this much pressure in her, and like she is not the biggest fan of that. Yeah, basically there's more qualified people to talk about that than me. I'm qualified, I guess, to talk about just Daria in terms of my pure enjoyment of it. But yeah, number 7 on my list, Through a Lens Darkly. This is season 3, episode 1, I think. Yeah, here's my favorite line from that episode.
Daria, what's wrong with admitting to a little vanity? You're not Mother Teresa,
She wore glasses.
No, she gave them to an orphan.
Yeah, so this episode is about Daria and glasses. This is about Daria and like her relationship towards her own vanity. Basically, yeah, it's like her learning to drive, and then she has to she tries out contact lenses, and then like she has this whole existential crisis of just is she selling herself out? Is she going against her principles by caring how she looks, basically? Like, is her like wearing contact lenses and being like, I actually do care somewhat how I look, people have a perception about me because of my glasses. If I wear contact lenses, maybe that perception might change, right? Like, is that going against her principles as a person? It's like a really interesting thing. And like the funniest thing is that it's Brittany, the most like blonde, like the most vapid like cheerleader, like to like knock some sense into her and like see that like she's kind of being overly principled and overly freaking stringent, like for no good reason, right? It's a thing. Oh man, yeah, that's basically the episode. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just doing this instead of like writing about these episodes. I did write about one episode back in the day. I actually made a video on it, but it was so bad that it's just not up anymore. But yeah. Anyways, number 6 on the list, Jane's Addition, the season 3 finale. Here's my favorite line/clip from the episode.
I'm only gonna stay a minute.
Want to borrow my stopwatch?
Hey, Daria, if you want me to leave, just say so.
Okay, bye now.
Hey, come on, Daria.
I thought we were going to see a movie.
What movie?
It's called The Big Chick Movie that appeals only to girls and makes men and boys vomit. So
this is about Daria and Jane having to do a project, so they enlist Trent. But Trent is a slacker, and this is kind of the end of Daria having a crush on Trent. That really is in another episode I'll get to. Yeah, it's like the end, Trent is just like a lazy freaking person who just does not conform to traditional working hours, like he doesn't like deadlines. They put too much pressure on him. And like this is the introduction of Tom, which will be a character that will be important in season 4 and season 5 of the show. How, you ask? Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's like so many good lines from this like episode, man. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the one I chose because I'm gonna do it in editing. Yeah, Jane like answers the door late after like waking up at noon, and then she's like says to Daria, it's like, do you want some breakfast? And then Daria's like, I don't want to have breakfast after. I don't want to have breakfast after my lunch. It spoils my dinner. It's just like oh man, I don't know, it's just really funny, man. That's why a lot of these episodes are on here, because they're funny. Okay, oh man. Okay, number 5 on my list, Prize Fighters, from season 5. Here is my favorite line from the episode.
Miss Morgendorfer?
I would say my main strength is that I don't babble.
That is just so funny, man. I know exactly what I picked, man. Yeah, okay. It's just about Daria and trying to win a scholarship, for college. And then, yeah, her realizing that, why do I need to participate in this? It's like, this is stupid. Like, I do not have to frickin', I do not have to just like, I don't know, just, try to just say or do whatever this scholarship, who's offering the scholarship wants, especially when who's offering it doesn't have the best track record as a company. So yeah, it's just the lines are really funny. Jane like feels bad because like they're all like Daria and like Charles Rothheimer and and Jody are just all talking about college, yet like she's just a C student. I really like that about Jane. I really like that Jane is just purely, I'm a C student. It's not on this list, but like, and is it college yet? Like, she has this whole like thing of like, should I go to college? Like, should I apply to an art school? And then like, there's a point in that TV movie where she's like, you know what, I'm just not gonna go to college. It's like, yeah, it's like I do just like the fact that Jane, as opposed to being brainy, like Jane and Daria like are on each other's level intellectually and like humor wise, but like in terms of academically, like Jane is a C student, while Daria like probably easily just gets A's without even trying. I really like that about their dynamic. It's just not a thing that's like mentioned or like brought up that much. But yeah, like I think in Jane's edition it's brought up of just like you need this grade more than me, like my grade isn't in danger, it's your grade that's in danger. Oh man. Okay, I have to get through this list a bit faster, but yeah. Number 4 on the list, Les Miserables from season 3. Here is my favorite line from the episode.
Say, Jane, I know you're Daria's best friend, and well, she's so hard to talk to these days. I was wondering...
Maximum of 3 questions, no betrayals, immunity from prosecution. And, talk your wife into finding a new speedwalking route.
Done. Age?
17.
Height?
5'2".
Mm-hmm. Favorite color? Black. Oh, that's too obvious. Can I have another one?
This is just, I don't know. There's just so many funny lines. I don't know. There's just, yeah. I do not know what I picked, but maybe I'm hashing what I already put up, but just the moment, yeah, like it is like, was it like Jane's family, like you get to see all of Jane's family and just how just crazy they are. Just like how, yeah, I don't know, just like how like her brothers, sisters, like Wind, River, like are just so freaking artsy. Like they're all just non-conformists in a way. They're all just like the people who do not have any traditional freaking lifestyle whatsoever. Man. And like they just make like Jane and Trent seem like the most grounded out of all of them. Yeah, like I don't know, it's just really funny. And then like you have the scene where Daria's parents are trying to question Jane about Daria, and then like Jake, yeah, Daria's dad, and like Daria's mom, Helen, just like ask 2 radically different sets of questions. I don't know. It's just really funny. And this is also the end of Daria having a crush on Jane. Daria having a crush on Jane's brother. There you go. I don't know. She has a crush on Jane in fan fictions. I don't know. Maybe in the same way that Paige and AZ are together, but I don't know. Number 3 on my list from season 4, Psychotherapy. And here is my favorite line from the episode.
Well, why don't you be Daria?
Oh, God. Just throw me in front of a train, why don't you?
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad. Give it a try.
I just did.
Oh,
I am not suicidal.
all right, Daria. Now can you be Quinn?
Okay, now I'm suicidal.
I know exactly what I picked for this. Just like, what, yeah, is it like Quinn being like, why don't I just jump in front of a train or something? And then Daria says, oh, please, I'm not suicidal. And then the therapist asks, okay, Daria, why don't you try being Quinn? And then she's like, okay, now I'm suicidal. Like, just, I don't know. Just the sharpness, the hilarity of the freaking lines, man. Just, I don't know, man. I just wish I could write with such freaking quippiness. I wish. I really do. Like, I tried to somewhat evoke that in my writing a little bit, but I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. Daria as a written show, I feel like it should get more credit than it already does, man, for just being as funny as it is. But yeah. It's basically just all of them going to therapy. It's just like them just, revealing themselves and their psychology and throwing shots at each other. So yeah. Now we're getting to, these 2 episodes. Number 2, the season 5 finale and the last, TV episodes of the series. Boxing Daria. So season 5, episode 13. Here's my favorite line from that episode.
Daria, what's your favorite game to play at recess?
I don't like games. I like to read.
Don't you enjoy playing with the other children?
Not really. They never understand what I'm talking about, and then they make fun of me. I like to read.
So this is like probably the most serious episode of the show, right? Yeah. It's just, it hits hard. Yeah, I rewatched it recently, like a month or so ago. And yeah, just like the flashback where like Daria like crawls into that box, right? She crawls into the box and like you see like how it was like drawn, like colored over with crayon to make it look like a house while her parents were arguing, and that like Daria, even as a kid, like knows that they're arguing about her, and like she doesn't like speak, like she can't like interact with the other kids, like and then Jake just just being like, it's stressing me out, something like that, and just Daria just feeling bad of just like having the realization of like, I've been the burden on my parents, like I was the one who like burdened my parents this whole time. They've had to deal with me, and just like it affecting her, in just the way, that Daria usually doesn't show emotion. But I love like the scene where like she has that accident on the road, and then like she's at the diner, and then Jane meets her, and then she just gives her Daria just gives Jane such a big hug, like in like a show with just such limited animation, right? It's like you see just how much emotion is put into that hug, and just also the ending song for the closing credits is Story of a Girl by 9 Days, which is a really good choice. It's a really good, fun, serious episode that delves into Daria's like inner psyche, and great episodes to end the series on. Okay, my number 1 episode of Daria of all time for now, as I'm 24, about to turn 25, and still love the show just as much as I did back then, but even more so. The season 4 finale, Die, My Darling. Here is my favorite clip or line from the episode.
So, what happens now?
I was hoping you knew.
Are we still friends? Are we?
Yeah, we're the kind of friends who can't stand the sight of each other.
Temporarily, right?
I hope so, Daria. I'll see you.
The reason why this is my favorite episode of Daria, I think, other than is it fall yet or is it college yet? I don't know. Just, I don't know how people feel about the love triangle, but it's just something that I enjoyed. I enjoyed, like, how in the previous episodes of season 4, like in Fire, I Load a Parade, right? Like, Jane was getting paranoid about, like, is Tom gonna, like, cheat on me with Daria, right? And then, like, her fears and suspicions were actually confirmed. Spoiler alert for the series. But, like, yeah, and then just the way that, like, Daria just outright says it, doesn't try to even hide it. She's just like, I kissed your boyfriend, I kissed Tom, you know? And just the way she says, I'm sorry, you know? Just like, you can tell, like, it's her monotone voice, but there's just so much emotion behind it. I don't know. Yeah, and just like the Lady or the Tiger, which is a short story, by the way. I'll post the author's name in the video. But yeah, like, it's like, I don't know, it's just really, yeah, I just love just how it's just both like dramatic and also has really funny lines, you know, just the lines exchange when they're dyeing Jane's hair, right? And like, you know, like Jane getting paranoid when it doesn't turn out right. And she's like, you did this to me. You freaking did this to me. You want to take Tom away from me. Just like acting just so crazy, man. I don't know. It just, yeah. And I love just the love triangle aspect of it. I don't know how other people feel about it. I love the fact that Helen, you know, takes time off of work when she's just such a notorious workaholic. You know, it just shows just how much she actually does care about Daria, you know? Like, there's like, no, it's like, I have an important case. It's like, this is the most important case. I can't miss it. And it's like, yeah, no, it's not that important anyway. It's like, I'll just like take work off just to, you know, spend time with my daughter who really needs me, you know? It's just nice. It's just a nice episode, you know? And that's why it's my favorite episode of the series. Yeah. And you know, Is It Fall Yet and Is It College Yet are like probably 2, 3, 4, somewhere around there. So yeah, I guess that's basically it for this episode. Yeah, so oh man, it's been a nice episode. I talked about a lot. Joel Embiid, Daria, Paige and AZ Fudd, you know, Dame coming back to the Blazers, you know, hopefully a good amount of stuff. Yeah, I'll get back with another type of list next episode. Maybe do a bit of a Twitter segment, but yeah. Anyways, that has been the episode. Yeah, I've recorded 3 episodes this month, so I'm proud of that. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this installment of Minecraft, and see you, hopefully, on the next episode.